Your heirs don't get it. Government doesn't say, we're sorry for your loss. Here is all the funds that they earned in their Social Security. Nope. Not only does the government not say that they're sorry that you died to your heirs, but they don't even tell you how much money. They don't even tell your heirs how much money that you had put in. And it's all gone. The government just says, thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution. So people, better start waking up to reality, because if you don't, you're going to live. If you don't wake up to today's reality, you're going to wake up to somebody else's nightmare.
My name is Ronald Reagan. I have been asked to talk on several subjects that have to do with the problems of the day. Now, back in 1927, an American socialist, Norman Thomas, 6 times candidate for president on the Socialist Party ticket, said the American people would never vote for socialism. But he said under the name of liberalism, the American people will adopt every fragment of the socialist program. There are many ways in which our government has invaded the precincts of private citizens, the method of earning a living. One of the traditional methods of imposing statism or socialism on a people has been by way of medicine. It's very easy to disguise a medical program as a humanitarian project. Most people are a little reluctant to oppose anything that suggests medical care for people who possibly can't afford it. James Madison, in 1788, speaking to the Virginia Convention, said, "Since the general civilization of mankind, I believe there are more instances of the abridgment of the freedom of the people by gradual and silent encroachment of those in power than by violent and sudden usurpations." Now, in our country, under our free enterprise system, we have seen medicine reach the greatest heights that it has in any country in the world. Today, the relationship between patient and doctor in this country is something to be envied any place. The privacy, the care that is given to a person, the right to choose a doctor, the right to go from one doctor to the other. But let's also look from the other side at the freedom the doctor loses. A doctor would be reluctant to say this. Well, like you, I'm only a patient, so I can say it in his behalf. The doctor begins to lose freedoms. It's like telling a lie, and one leads to another. First, you decide that the doctor can have so many patients. They're equally divided among the various doctors by the government. But then the doctors aren't equally divided geographically. So a doctor decides he wants to practice in one town, and the government has to say to him, you can't live in that town. They already have enough doctors. You have to go someplace else. And from here, it's only a short step to dictating where he will go. This is a freedom that I wonder whether any of us have the right to take from any human being. Take it into your own occupation or that of your husband. All of us can see what happens once you establish the precedent that the government can determine a man's working place and his working methods, determine his employment. From here, it's a short step to all the rest of socialism, to determining his pay. And pretty soon, your son won't decide when he's in school where he will go or what he will do for a living. He will wait for the government to tell him where he will go to work and what he will do. In this country of ours took place the greatest revolution that has ever taken place in the world's history, the only true revolution. Every other revolution simply exchanged one set of rulers for another. But here, for the first time in all the thousands of years of man's relation to man, a little group of men, the Founding Fathers, for the first time, established the idea that you and I had within ourselves the God-given right and ability to determine our own destiny. This freedom was built into our government with safeguards. We talk democracy today, and strangely we let democracy begin to assume the aspect of majority rule is all that is needed. Well, majority rule is a fine aspect of democracy, provided there are guarantees written in to our government concerning the rights of the individual and of the minorities. What can we do about this? Well, you and I can do a great deal. We can write to our congressmen, to our senators. We can say right now that we want no further encroachment on these individual liberties and freedoms. And at the moment, the key issue is we do not want socialized medicine. If you don't, this program, I promise you, will pass just as surely as the sun will come up tomorrow. And behind it will come other federal programs that will invade every area of freedom as we have known it in this country. Until, one day, as Norman Thomas said, we will awake to find that we have socialism. And if you don't do that,
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
Yes, indeed, you are listening to me, your lovable host, Elrod, and I am still live on the air. Liberals can never shut me up, although they often try. But the truth shall never be silenced. Never. The truth will always be spoken. And the truth is spoken here. Welcome back, my fellow Americans, to the Rod Eccles Show. There is something that I heard for the first time yesterday. Now, and I get, look, I can't hear everything. And I know some of you out there under the sound of my voice are going to say, I heard this like months ago. You know, yeah, I heard it years ago, man. I heard this years ago. Great. I'm glad. I just heard it yesterday. This version. And I think it's pretty apropos. Now, I knew it was out there, but I just hadn't heard it. But this is it. This is with Clint Eastwood, just for those of you who don't recognize the gravelly voice.
In the last few years, America's been knocked down. 23 million people can't find full-time work. And we borrow $4 billion every single day, much of it from China. When someone doesn't get the job done, you gotta hold them accountable. Obama's second term would be a rerun of the first, and our country just couldn't survive that. We need someone who could turn it around fast, and that man is Mitt Romney. There's not much time left, and the future of our country is at stake.
American Crossroads is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Now, I think it's pretty clear. It's pretty cut and dry. It's not mincing any words. And look, Clinton knows politics. He was the mayor of Carmel by the Sea, California, a couple of terms. So he's he's been in politics, as limited as it might be, but he understands. Look, you got to understand. Everybody thinks that Clint Eastwood is well. They don't think he's a great actor as far as technique. You know, he's not like Sir Laurence Olivier or during his height. Some of the other American actors, or that people have considered to be great or excuse me, are very good at their craft, like Johnny Depp or somebody. But he plays his characters away better than just about anybody else could have played a Clint Eastwood character. And because I guess, if you really know from what people say that really know him, he's nothing like most of the characters that he has played. And this is probably true of a lot of actors. But everybody just honestly believes that, that Clint is, go ahead, make my day kind of guy. So when he speaks, he carries a lot of weight, even in Hollywood. Although Hollywood is made up mostly of a bunch of overfed liberals. I mean, these people are just idiotic ultra liberals. I mean, some of them are so bad I can't even watch any of their movies, whether I like them or not. Ben Affleck, I can't deal with him. And what's his buddy's name there? Jason Bourne. No, I can't remember his name. I don't watch any more of his movies. After I heard some of the idiotic crap that came out of his mouth during the last presidential campaign, I won't watch any of his movies anymore. I refuse to support these two-faced liberal hacks. I mean, on the one hand, they're complaining about people, rich people not paying enough taxes, and that people aren't being given the opportunity, Wall Street people are earning too much money. Now, can you please tell me, how much do some of these A-listers make for a single movie? No, you're talking $15, $20, $25 million to start. And then many of the A-listers, they get a percentage of the ticket sales. I mean, Johnny Depp, what did he make off the pirate movies? Like over $100 million for himself. But that's okay. Somebody on Wall Street, man, if he's a banker or corporate person, and he gets a bonus of $1 million. Oh, man, he's ripping off the public. But Will Smith makes a movie that everybody and their brother wants to go see, and he makes $50 million off it. Oh, that's cool, man. That's no problem with that. And I begged Will Smith not to talk. Because I love Will Smith. Well, not him personally, but I love his. I haven't seen a Will Smith movie I did not like. I mean, maybe he's made it. I didn't see Bagger Vance, so I don't know about how good or bad that is. But I have not seen 100% of Will Smith's movies. Will Smith. But out of all of the ones, I've seen most of them, and out of all the ones that I have seen, I have not disliked any of them. I've liked them all, to one degree or another. He's an actor I am willing to go to the movies to pay to see, as long as he keeps his mouth shut. Because once I know he's a liberal political I know he's supporting Obama. I mean, 90% of Hollywood is supporting Obama. Because it's the thing to do. These people aren't serious. I mean, they think that they're doing something great because they entertain you for 120 minutes. Well, we kind of put them up on a pedestal because every time they go out in public, we want to mob them and try to take their clothes and want their autograph, and we want to see pictures of them all the time. And we'll buy the stupid rag mags that's full of nothing but stars. Celebrities. And most of them don't have any talent. Now, as entertaining as Will Smith is, and he is kind of a funny guy, he's not one of the greatest actors that's ever been put in front of a camera. Let's face it. He really isn't. But he's funny. He's got good comedic timing. He's entertaining. That's it. Now, why people would think that, people like Will Smith and Ben Affleck and 30 Rock? Baldwin. Can somebody please, if Alec Baldwin isn't scripted, can somebody please muzzle that guy? I mean, seriously. I mean, I kind of like 30 Rock. And I even kind of like Alec Baldwin as the character that he plays in 30 Rock. But I have a problem watching it all the time because I know that if I watch it, I'm supporting him, and he's supporting idiots. And not only is he supporting idiots, but he's blabbing his mouth all the time. So I don't know why we support people like that. Because we're not supposed to support, business people and businesses that hire people and employ people if they do something like Bank of America. Bank of America is being sued by the government now for $1 billion. Not because of what Bank America did, because they didn't do anything except buy countrywide mortgage. Now, Bank America actually was pressured by the government to buy Countrywide. So they did. They didn't really want it. Bank of America, Countrywide was going down the tubes. And Countrywide was going down the tubes because they were one of the biggest players in providing certain kinds of loans that the government was forcing mortgage companies, to issue. So Countrywide, like a bunch of others, did what the government wanted. It didn't work. The government blames Countrywide for it and the other banks. And then they say, okay, Bank America, if you want help from the government, if you want a bailout, you got to buy Countrywide. So they buy Countrywide. They take all the bad debt and everything, they buy Countrywide. And now the federal government wants to sue Bank of